These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Sunday, December 17th, after the Celtics second win, I should say, over the Orlando Magic. I was at the Patriots game during this Celtics game. It was the first Celtics game that I had to miss this year, which was unfortunate. Was not too pleased about it, but I had a good time with the Pats with my family, my uncle, my cousin, my brother. It was a good time. I caught up on the game when I got home. Watched the highlights, watched a few other clips. I caught bits and pieces of the third and fourth quarter in the car ride home, although I was pretty tired, so I was half asleep. I'll let Sam explain it to me. From what I've seen, I'll say what I believe the talking point should be, and then you can tell me, excuse me, what I missed and or if I'm correct.
Okay.
One, Paolo Banchero was God. Effectively is pretty much what I saw. Dude,
in the first half more so than the second half.
Yes, but he made some obscene shots.
A lot of threes.
Jaylen Brown, awesome again, in every aspect of the game. And when the Celtics stars are all playing well, doesn't seem like many teams can beat this team. Those are my three takeaways from the highlights and what I've seen and what I've read and what I've watched. So, fill me in.
Okay, so Banchero, yes. Jaylen, yes. And the Celtics are a hoss, yes. All true. I think this has been a big week for the Celtics are a hoss side of the fence, or versus the Celtics need work. When the Celtics play for real, we've seen them now beat up on a Magic team that has been completely legitimate through the first 25 or so games. Twice. They've blown them out twice. This is a Magic team that the Celtics had lost 4 straight games to, and it's a Magic team that they very clearly have some sort of chip on their shoulder against. Jaylen Brown and Goga Bitadze got into it a little bit today in the first half. There's always the Mo Wagner wrinkle to this where he just behaves like a rat and somebody bites. Today it was kind of Nemi, but like Nemi didn't completely stoop to his level, but you could see that there was some frustration going back and forth. There was even a challenge centered around the two getting tied up. But excellent to see the Celtics win in a spot like this the way that they won, because they looked comfortable. They looked locked in. And of course, they looked far better than Orlando did. And we can get into the specifics of all the other talking points whenever you want. But the broad outlook as the team, Hoss, confirmed Hoss.
Good. I saw that it happened. I didn't actually get to see Goga and Jaylen get at it. What happened? What did
it was
Goga
stupid.
do?
I don't think Jaylen was actually mad, but it was like one of those things where like everybody kind of like rushed
Prepared
over
for him to be
because
mad?
they were talking after a foul. So Jaylen was on a drive and Bitadze literally like hugged him. And Jaylen, I think Jaylen kind of laughed and was like, yeah, it's like what you had to do because I was going to score.
Well, they have a history is the only reason I say it, because
I did see this is the 4th time they've like had some kind of like
on a block or something, like second arm, and then Jaylen gets up and gets very mad and shoves Goga out of the way.
Oh,
then they get mad. Yeah. And so they get mad. They get back.
Look at Grant, man. Just sitting there.
So my thing is, and I'll probably be talking for the majority of this on the broader spectrum of the week, because I didn't get to watch this one, unfortunately. It feels like, so the Celtics have 6 stars, I'll call it. You might not qualify Al Horford with that word anymore, but effectively they have six starters, 6 stars, whatever you want to call it. When 2 of them are on, they're a very good basketball team. They're a playoff team. When 3 of them are on, probably a home court advantage team, right? When 4 or 5 of them are on, that's a team that could win a title. When 6 of them are on, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Do you know what I'm saying? Like that is my takeaway from this week, right? Al Horford had 8 and 8 in this game. Derek White was being aggressive, didn't shoot particularly well, but I saw him aggressive doing some stuff. Drew Holiday made some shots tonight. Jason Tatum didn't have an efficient game from what I saw. He made some big shots late, and he was very aggressive early. It kind of felt like he only showed up in the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. Again, I didn't watch the whole thing, but that is what I got from the small bits and pieces that I did get the chance to watch. Is that accurate? Like he was kind of like the middle just wasn't Jason Tatum time.
This was just like a rough Tatum game. Like
Okay.
Tatum showed up in some moments because he made threes. Early in the game, he was kind of able to answer the Banchero onslaught. And he had a good 3-point shooting game. 4 of 6 is not bad. It's a good number. 6 is a fine number of threes to take. He was 8 of 21 from the field. The biggest recurring issue to me, which isn't an actual issue across other games, was just the man was not hitting the post fade today, but
Okay.
he sure did
Sure.
want to take the post fade. He
I'm
was
okay with
really
that.
trying to take it over
That's fine.
Suggs. Suggs was up on him. Suggs was playing good defense. There was
Okay.
actually a time in this game I thought to myself, I was like, I wonder if Suggs is one of those answer players for Jason Tatum, where people are going to be like Suggs owns Tatum because he wasn't good against Suggs.
Okay.
But
Gotcha.
Tatum also wasn't doing anything where you were like, damn, Tatum's kind of hurting the game today or hurting the team today.
Okay.
It wasn't that kind of thing. I would prefer this to him shooting a zillion threes.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. That's fine. I thought Kristaps was all right. He had that super cool putback on a Derek
he
White
sure
miss that I
did.
saw. That was kind of nuts. I saw that was one of the few plays that I saw actually happen live, and I was like, did he just dunk it? Like, did that go in? What the fuck just happened? So that was fun. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I unfortunately didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing through and through, but from what I saw, this was just another. I mean, they suffered from the third quarter slump again, but it felt like they
Sure
battled
did.
through it. They battled through it for the most part. Like they got through it without
Yes.
letting the Magic get fully all the way back into it. And then by the time
Only lost by 2 the third quarter.
yeah, by the time the fourth quarter rolled around, it was Tatum and Brown can't miss a 3 time, and they just fucking buried them.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Just to loop back to Porzingis quick, I thought Porzingis was solid, but he also looked sloppy today. This was actually a
Okay.
game where there were moments where I was like, wow, Porzingis is kind of forcing the issue a bit too much. Didn't have the best hand stays, responsible for 4 turnovers. To start the game, he was 0 of 2 with the travel. And then one of the shots was a weird, he stepped into it over somebody, and it was a brutal miss. It wasn't even close, and it was forced. But he responded pretty well. He had some dunks, made a couple threes. He filled back into more of the role he's supposed to have, and you saw the team benefit from it. He finished with a positive plus minus, as did literally everyone except the guys that came at the end of the game. So it was solid overall. The big fourth quarter talking point was Jaylen. He just came out on fire. He was not missing. He was super confident. He was taking tough shots. He was getting to the rim. Jaylen, unlike Tatum, was making the post followays, the spin shots in the paint. He looked locked the fuck in both of these 2 games against the Magic. And also, to Jaylen's credit, now this is 6 straight games, might even be more, that he's shot over 50% from the field. Leading up to today, all 5, 50%. It was one of the things I scrounged to find in the pregame because somebody was talking about his over. But he's been efficient. He has been careful. He's been under control. Even today, 6 assists, only 2 turnovers. He was used, I think somebody wrote for Bobby's recap of this for Celtics blog, was the Celtics used Jaylen as a playmaker in the fourth quarter. They ran everything through him. He had it going so much that he was able to play with the defense as if it was a big puppet, pull the strings, and he was helping guys get open because he was making the right reads, and he's continued to do that over December has been a great Jaylen month. I don't know what everyone else around the league has been doing off the top of my head. I know Embiid's been pretty good. He had a 50 ball. Then he had a big game against Charlotte yesterday as they won by 50. But, I mean, Jaylen has to have a shout for player of the month.
Here's December. Unfortunately, Embiid is averaging 40, 13, and 4 on 62, 41 splits. So Jaylen probably won't get that chance that he's looking for. It is weird. I got thrown off for a second because it said only 6 games, but then I realized the in-season tournament took away a few days of play.
Right.
For what it's worth, though, the Celtics in December, Jaylen Brown, 23 points, 54, 33 splits, 4 and 3. Tatum, actually not as bad as I thought. 32 is obviously not great, but still 45 from the field is good. 8.5, 4.3. Kristaps, Derek White averaging 18.5 on 50-47 splits is nuts. Drew Holiday's 3-point shooting's up. And then over the last 5 games, or we'll go 3 games because that's what I was looking at. Like you mentioned, Jaylen's been crazy. 24 points, 54, 39, 4 and 5, only 2 turnovers. He's been great over these
Plus
last
11
couple games
per game. That's huge. I mean, one of the huge stories surrounding Jaylen is that when Tatum's not on the floor, his rating is bad. He in years past has not been able to be the, hey, I'm running with the rest of the fellas while everyone else rests guy. Now he's starting to show he can do that a bit, and I'm sure Drew Holiday helps. I'm sure having Porzingis helps, but he's still having to take care of the ball. He's still having to knock down shots and get to the right spots by dribbling the ball. He's looked worlds better than he did in the playoffs. It's only been like, let's just call it a month-long stretch, but it's definitely in the right direction. I wrote about it for Celtics blog towards the end of last month, beginning of December, whatever. He is a huge measuring stick for how this team can fare in the playoffs. If he's playing under control like this, the ceiling is unbelievably high, like championship. But if he's sloppy, out of control, and they're asking a lot out of him, good luck. Because you're going to see it get exploited like it was last year, like it was against Orlando down to Orlando. It can be bad too. But ever since that game, it seems, he's really figured it out, turned the corner, and been like, hey, listen, no more of that. I'm a new guy now. Time to cook. All of us. We all cook.
Yeah. Jaylen's been awesome. Every time I talk about how good Jaylen's been, I think it's relevant to point out that I was critical of him and admit it, because just to get ahead of the people
Add some weight to the damn statement.
Who will inevitably say, oh, but you said this last year. He's been awesome this year. He's improved in every metric that people said he needed to improve on.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action, NFL. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including you got spreads, you got your player props, you got over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
He's playmaking great. He's making better decisions with the ball. They're using him in that role. I literally wrote about it before the season. Jaylen Brown's next step as a playmaker, and half the comments were, don't force him to be something he's not. Now he's a playmaker, and he's fucking awesome. It's great. He's using the space that he creates to create space for others. That dump off he had to Porzingis was a turnover last year. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know the play I'm talking about? I'll find it. I need to find it
because I don't know off the top of my head.
Easily find it because it was an assist, and I was watching the game. I was like, holy shit. How did Jaylen make this play? Like this, here, I found it already. Last year, this play going the other way, not even close. Because the issue is he leaves his feet, and I still think it's a mistake for him to leave his feet here. But the fact that he was able to find Porzingis and make the play is like, wow, like the vision has completely changed. Boom, finds him on the cut, and shout out to Porzingis for being there. That's a turnover 10 times out of 10 last year.
They live in the same building.
Yeah, that's like a turnover last year 10 times out of 10. Credit to Jaylen for making the right play. He's been awesome this year, like I said. Nimi got some more minutes. I saw he was pretty okay in his minutes. It was interesting, to see him get those minutes even with Al and Kristaps back in the fold. Yeah, man, it just this was such a big week for the Celtics. Like we were talking before the stretch, and obviously we still have the road trip to worry about, and the Celtics haven't been quite as good on the road as they have been at home. It is also tough to be as good on the road as you are at home when you're 14-0 at home. Like that's kind of a high bar to match on the road. But this is a big road stretch for them. But the fact that they started off this, 8, 9, whatever game stretch we had with 5 wins.
It was 8.
Like, yeah.
Or you could call it 9 with the Knicks game after the in-season tournament if you really want to.
They just beat. I'm trying to think through, like, were any of them super, super close games? Were any of them was the Knicks game close? I don't remember off the top of my head.
The Knicks game wasn't close, but the second Cavs game that we were both at
was kind of close.
3-5 in the fourth quarter. But I'll say this about today's game and the first Cavs game. The Celtics started awful. They couldn't buy a basket to start this game. They couldn't do it in that game either. But they battled back. They didn't get frazzled. They didn't start rushing. They just stuck to what works. And would you believe it? They came out on top and they bodied the Magic in 2 games. All of the talk about Orlando having their number just to get blown out in 2 straight games. After the last win, Mazzulla even talked about, like, it's definitely going to be harder the next game. They're going to come to play for real.
It was.
And it was. Paolo came, balled out. Franz did not. But, I mean, listen, like, you just beat them twice. This has got to feel good for the Celtics as they head on the road. And I do want to shout out Drew Holiday, who had a pretty good response to the opening lull. Like, he had a couple nice shots, big shots in the first half, pulled up in transition and stuck a 3. It was after one of those, like, it was a part of one of those runs, Jack, where the Celtics will put the noise meter on the Jumbotron.
That's
and
a curse.
We went to the game the other day, and I was like, like, they never get a stop.
It's been all season.
They
so
did get a
bad.
stop, and then they had Drew pull up in transition and drill 3.
I saw that.
Excellent. Yeah.
I saw that. This, with the slight exception of that, I mean, it was still a wire-to-wire win against the Cavs that got close. They dominated this home stretch. They said, we are the best team in the league. These are 3. It wasn't like against, and I don't want to pick on Philly. Everybody plays the same teams for relatively for the same points of the season. They've played the Pistons twice, the Wizards twice, and the Hornets once in the past X amount of weeks, and they've won 6 in a row. Shocker.
They're playing ping pong.
Exactly. I'm not trying to compare the Celtics to that. This just so happens to be the easy point in the 76er schedule. The Celtics have it in March. They have an easy stretch coming up at the end of the year. But the point is, this wasn't bad teams. This was the Knicks playoff team, Cavs, Evan Mobley-less playoff team, Magic playoff team, and they killed them all. They said, see you later. You're not close. We're going to beat you even without all of our fucking centers. Literally almost every single center on the roster doesn't matter. We're winning. Back-to-back Cavs Magic, not close. Doesn't matter. Wire-to-wire wins, then a 20-point, whatever it was, win over a team that's had our number. Jaylen Brown said that first Magic game was the biggest game of the season that they won. This was the biggest stretch of their season so far. Were they 20-5 now? This stretch right here that the Celtics are on when they're 5-0 at home, 14-0 now in the season, like, this is them saying, yeah, good fucking luck. Like I truly, and there's some bias. Obviously, the Nuggets are a good team. Obviously, the Bucks and Sixers have a chance. Like, Minnesota's a fine team. When the Celtics are playing like this locked in, I genuinely don't know who the fuck is going to beat them. Like, and I truly believe the only thing that's going to get in their way is themselves. And I'm not saying that's not going to happen, because it could, and it has in the past. But when they're playing like this, like, what are teams supposed to do? Like, what are you supposed to do? It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, it dawned on me the other day, there's no stopping the Celtics if they give a shit and try. I texted you this. You were at the game. I was home. And I'm watching them just stomp the Magic, a team that's had their number for the past 4 matchups at that point. And I was like, oh my God, like, Jaylen cares. He's dunked the ball 4 times in the first half after being listed as questionable with a knee issue. The man cares. The team cares. So does Orlando, who everything they were doing was with purpose. And it didn't matter. It wasn't one of those things where you could be like, well, Orlando didn't play for real, even though Mazzulla kind of said that. And then they came out and whomped him again today. These have been playoff level games. I was watching today's game and I thought, wow, this has a playoff vibe to it. Afternoon game, good team, good crowd, felt like a playoff game, slow start. They had to battle some adversity and they overtook it. So good for the Celtics.
Yeah, it was a great win. The last thing I do want to briefly talk about before we wrap up, because we can wrap here in a sec.
Sure.
Is this? Let me pull.
I know what it is. I bring this up. 5.
This was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown pull up in 3. Joe Mazzulla. Dude,
he's hyped.
Oh my God! Right? Okay. Listen. Obviously, I grew up a Celtics fan, and now media, et cetera, et cetera. You try to put bias aside. even from a non-Celtics fan perspective, just a fan of the sport, this is so fucking sick. This is so cool. If you are a fan of the Celtics and you don't like Mazzulla, I don't know how you cannot like him after this shit. Are you kidding me? This look like there is nobody on the planet that cares more than this man in this moment. That is fucking awesome. That is everything you want to see from your head coach. That like just I could watch this over and over and over and over again. What, like, just look at him. Look at him. Calm, timeout. Oh my dude, if this doesn't,
it's just because it's so quick. Like, he's calm, like you said, and then all of a sudden he's on fire, and then he's kind of like back down to normal.
My God. Like
the most hilarious thing about this quote that came along with this is, I think Justin Turpin tweeted this out, and it was like Mazzulla saying
right here. It's I literally quote. Yeah.
He was like, I was pumped, like blah blah blah. I got that hyped because I was watching Celtics basketball in that moment. Now, he means the game as a whole, but it is funny that like Celtics is being described as a pull-up three at the beginning of the shot clock.
No. I think the players need to see that sometimes. I do, like everybody else, care about winning, and I do have fun. I just thought it was a moment to show that I think we're starting to play what I call Celtic basketball. This, like, I said I could watch it over and over again, and I have. Like, I've been talking, but I've just been watching this fucking guy get juiced up to win. Like everyone, like, you talk about the timeouts, you can talk about rotations, you can talk about whatever you want. At the end of the day, what matters most is a coach that gives a shit. And that sounds like the lowest bar in the world, right? But like I don't know how you can watch this and not just like, as a fan of the Celtics, not smile, just not be like, let's fuck, like, do it with them. Like, that's so sick. Like, and again, even as media, put it aside, like just watching a coach care this much and show this emotion for his players doing something cool, like, that's fucking awesome. That made me so happy when I saw this. I was like, ear to ear, just like, yeah, that's fucking sick. It's like,
I'm on board.
He's press conferences, all this stuff. Like, he's a little bit sarcastic. He plays it cool. He's like, yeah, well, but then just to see it pour out of him like that, it's just like, it's so sick. It was so sick to see. Shout out Joe Mazzulla.
I love the moment. I tweeted like a month ago, or earlier this month, or whatever it was. Like, the Liverpool coach does like fist pumps after the game. He gets hyped. He gasses up the crowd and does fist pumps. They all fucking love it. I was like, I want to see Joe do this. He fucking did it. Fire. Just can't ask for much more. Good for him. Glad the team's playing well. Now they're going to go out west. This is kind of where things went off the wheels a little bit last year. So we'll see how it goes.
Agree. Tatum reference. They were 20-5 last year too, but I don't know. It feels different right now.
Time to beat the Warriors, buddy.
Very true. All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let us know if we missed anything. Fill me in if you'd like to give me more stuff. I know I tried to catch up as much as I could, but make sure to subscribe to Bout Them Celtics. We appreciate it very much. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and 5 stars on Spotify, and I'll let Sam wrap it up.
Hey, thank you very much for listening or watching. If you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can see more of us. Hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss any full-length pods. We'll have one coming on Tuesday morning. Game recaps like this one, pre-game streams, which are a half hour before every game, film breakdowns, or even little rumor breakdowns. Tell you what to believe, what not to believe, who the Celtics should get, who they shouldn't get. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you thought of the win. If you listen on audio platforms, Spotify, Apple, follow us there, leave a 5-star review, say something nice, or tell Jack he looks like Yankee, because somebody did that. You can find us on the email. If you want to email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We read the emails every show. We got a couple, I think, today, which is pretty good. We love the emails. We love interacting with everyone. We want to hear your thoughts, and we appreciate you. You can find us on socials at How About Them C's. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Again, just the name of the podcast. The pregame streams are there as well as YouTube. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSmoneNBA. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance, NBA. It's up for us.